Humans on the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. I was not necessarily expecting to get the final MYSTERUNE card today since the entire Labyrinth archetype came out. Well, all but one card came out last night. I was very happy with how that archetype turned out. I'm very excited to do a bunch of labbing and figure out where that archetype fits in, whether it's Lair, whether it's Unchained, whether it's Burning Abyss, whatever. I'm really excited to get into that. But today we have our final monster here for MYSTERUNE. It is an extra deck monster. They have two already that are okay, but I think the bigger thing is just that all of their quick play spells just summon their monsters if you want straight out of the extra, which is really insane. So here we go. We'll get into the synergies and how it's like applicable here. So here we go. We have Hugin, Wings of the MYSTERUNE. Okay, cute anime girl, whatever, cool. Anyway, there's a level 2 light fairy fusion effect monster. That's really interesting. Level 2 light fairy. Got some potential fairy synergy there. 0 attack, 0 defense, so nothing stat wise, but that's okay. If you're gonna hard fusion summon this, it would take 2 MYSTERUNE monsters. I don't think we're doing that. Definitely not doing that. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, then add a MYSTERUNE field spell from your deck to the hand. Woo! Second effect, if another card you control would be destroyed, you can banish this card instead. That's also pretty good. That's just really nice. That's like an entire board protection. And the third effect, if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or effect, return to the extra deck. That's also really interesting. And that's that's a mandatory effect. So even if you use that second effect where something would be destroyed, you destroy this instead, it would just go back to the extra deck. I guess that's kind of cool. That does potentially open up the deck a little bit more for being able to play stuff like Pot of Prosperity, where like maybe the worry would be if you want to keep churning out your extra deck monsters, the fact that this just goes back into the extra deck means 1, you don't have to play, like 2, you may not even have to play, you definitely don't have to play 3 of this now because this card loads itself back in, but maybe you don't even need to play more than 1 because it would just go back to extra and you're good, and you also only need to search the field spell 1 time because it's kind of just a card you want to get set up once and then you're good to go. But very interesting. Really, really cool. I like this a lot. This seems really, really strong because the field spell is kind of what like sets up the whole engine. We'll get to that in a sec. So going back to what the field spell does, just to look at some of the synergies here. This is Spring of the MYSTERUNE. It says while it's face up, all MYSTERUNE quick play spells can be activated from hand during your opponent's turn. That's really good, especially with this card here. Because once per turn, if you activate a MYSTERUNE quick play spell, you can target up to 3 MYSTERUNE quick plays in your grave, place them on the bottom deck in any order, then draw that many cards. It's really, really strong because as long as we open like any 2 quick play MYSTERUNE cards, they don't even need to be the Rhoda to like get the field spell, right? You could have 2 that aren't even the Rhoda, or it means the Rhoda can get you something else, guarantee you like a solid interruption, pretty much. But you'd be able to like use the first one because all of the quick plays have like 2 things they do. They either do one thing, this is the search card, so this one searches. There's ones that like pop monsters, pop spells and traps, banish monsters from grave or something. They all kind of cover the basic bases, but they all have a secondary effect that if you get to pick between the 2 of them. And the second effect lets you special summon a MYSTERUNE monster straight from the extra deck to the extra monster zone, like just cheat it out. Which is really strong as extenders, and so now this card becomes probably the best option overall, because then you just go like, use 1 quick play spell to summon out the girl, then the girl discards a card to search the field spell, and now you've got the field spell online. And if you have the ability to activate any other MYSTERUNE card, you're going to be able to shuffle 1 or 2 MYSTERUNEs, maybe even more, back into or put them on the bottom of the deck to then draw cards. And that's what you want to do. You're just getting the engine online. This card every turn is getting you draws, and even if you're not killing your opponent, which is the drawback of this engine, getting this card online gives you a very strong opportunity to just out-resource your opponent like crazy. So also this card on the field, protecting your stuff from destruction, protects this from being ogred, protects this from being destroyed generically, and that's just really strong. I think this is a phenomenal addition to the extra deck monsters. Before, the extra monsters weren't doing enough in my opinion. They just didn't really do much. But now that we have this could be insane. So yeah, this is really, really strong. I think this like quite like powerfully like increases your ability to get to stuff. And like reading this field spell, you always want to get to the field spell, but you don't necessarily want to play like 3 of this, right? So like now making it so essentially any of the quick plays gets to it honestly makes it like so much more desirable, because now you can play 1, maybe 2 of this, and that's fine. And you can still just win duels that way. So very excited to see what people end up doing with this archetype. I haven't checked. I think this hasn't even technically dropped in the OCG, because we need the last Labyrinth card, and I think that the set actually comes out in like a week-ish time. So cool. Very excited to see where they end up there. I'm curious to see where like people are going to go with this, because I definitely think this engine has a lot of potential. This deck build pack seems pretty good overall. I think Valiants have potential to be splashed with other pendulum decks and be like a legit, you know, a legit strategy. Labyrinth has some really cool synergy, definitely has potential there as a control trap strategy. And now MYSTERUNE being just like super splashable, and as long as you don't mind that restriction, you don't mind grinding out duels, can also be a very powerful engine to make use of. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Where do you think MYSTERUNE stands, you know, after the final card being revealed? And also let me know your thoughts on the new Labyrinth, or what do you like the fact that we have 1 Labyrinth card missing. We'll get that soon, and we can look at that. But I'm excited to see. It's another monster, I'm pretty sure, based off of the set lineup, but looks really good. This deck build pack looks much better than like the last couple we've gotten, to be honest. So I'm excited for it. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from me down the line, and I'll catch you in the next video, I guess. Peace.